What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today is Halloween, so which means is that I am of course going to be doing a Spooktober video. Yes, a Spooktober video. I know a lot of people didn't think it was going to happen because last year it actually didn't happen and it came out a couple days after Halloween, but of course this year I'm going to be doing a Spooktober video. Now, a lot of the figures that you guys are going to see in this video are actually from previous years, not really previous years, but a lot of the main characters, I guess, from the Spooktober video from 2021, the one where I did 20. So a lot of them are going to be in this video, but they're actually painted and sculpted figures this time. So I guess that's the difference. And the other difference is that I actually seen all the movies, all the figures that you see in this, I've actually seen the movies a year or two ago when I did the 2021, I think, Spooktober. I've only seen like maybe 2 out of the 3 horror movies, maybe 2 out of the 20 horror movies that I did, and it was kind of embarrassing. Not really embarrassing, but it was just that this year I was actually able to watch all the films. So yeah, and every single figure in this, I will of course give my thoughts on the figure as well and stuff like that. So without further ado, let's get started because I'm actually pretty stoked for this video. So yeah, let's get started with the first figure, which is Michael Myers. Now, if you guys just saw that recent video, on the last video, I did say that I was going to watch Halloween. So I actually did watch Halloween that year of it. But yeah, man, Michael Myers, this figure is absolutely great. And I'm super happy that I was able to paint him. I knew I wanted to make him. Well, actually, no, I didn't know that I wanted to make him. At first, I wasn't really going to make him because, well, he's just a dude in like a little shirt and stuff like that. So I didn't really feel like making him, but then I was like, he's a classic, I have to make him. So of course this time I actually did do a fully sculpted and painted figure, which I think turned out really well. As you guys can see, everything is fully painted. The face was actually very difficult to do, but I thought I did a pretty good job on it. Now I went for the Halloween 2018, which Halloween 2018 was pretty okay. It was alright, but it was actually pretty good. But Halloween 2018, I went for that look because I really love the mask. I think they did a great job with the mask. The original one from like the OG Halloween film was a bit too plain for me, and it wouldn't have looked good. So basically the trend with all these figures is that I mostly just weather them a lot, either in blood, like blood, dirt, or any of that stuff. And it really captures it because like mostly when everybody makes them, since they're, even the painted figures, they look super clean. Like, I'll look at Michael Myers online, and he'll be like the cleanest figure ever. I'm like, he's not gonna look that clean. He's like a criminal and any of that, all that stuff. So, yeah, he looks really awesome, as you guys can see. I used the Superman hairpiece and cut off the sides, and I was gonna use this for a figure, and I was like, this looks really bad and all like mangled and stuff like that. And I thought immediately, as soon as I thought of Michael Myers, I was like, oh my god, this is perfect. So I went for this hairpiece. The face looks, like I said, was painted, and I did sculpt on his little, I guess, collar piece, and then also the pockets and the little strap on the front and back. And I also painted the boots, which was pretty fun. I'm sorry, I just ate a bunch of Halloween candy. But yeah, also I got a cool knife right here, which is the butter knife. I know I did make fun of the butter knife at the original video, but I actually did cut off the side so it doesn't look, and I also sharpened it a little bit, that way it doesn't look all messed up. But yeah, man, Michael Myers, he's a pretty cool dude. Is he my favorite horror character? Maybe, I don't know. He's pretty cool, but yeah, I do really like how this Michael Myers turned out, and he turned out pretty cool. And yeah, there he is. Yeah, there is Michael Myers. I'm not going to do a cut or anything. We're just going on to the next figure, which of course is the next GOAT. We have Freddy Krueger and from A Nightmare on Elm Street. And A Nightmare on Elm Street was pretty good, man. It was a pretty good movie, if I do say so myself. And yeah, for all these horror films that I said at the very beginning, I've seen all of them. I only saw the firsts of all of them, the first movie that came out. So for a character that's later in the video, that kind of messes up with, I guess, knowing what the horror character is. But I'll get to them when I get to them. But for now, here is Freddy Krueger, which I think I did a pretty good job on. He was actually the first horror character I made. Yes, he was the first, which is pretty cool. I guess starting off with the fedora, I did the same thing I did with Spider-Man Noir. I took a fedora, a cowboy hat, I guess a cowboy hat. I took it, sanded it down a lot, and then after that I painted it, because I think it was originally tan, right? Yeah, it was tan, and then I painted it brown, and then added a black wash, which I guess keeping this off, what I did for the face was, it was actually a normal minifigure head that I just painted all of the details on here and all of his, I guess, messed up, burnt up face, which I think is pretty cool. And if you're wondering what the face is, I think it's Zane from the Freemakers, which I think looks pretty good, and you can't even tell because, yeah, I just think I did a pretty good job. It looks all messed up and all that stuff. I think it looks pretty cool. And I also did the same with the hands, just to kind of keep the continuity, I guess. But yeah, it looks pretty cool also with the fedora on. The torso, once again, just the painted, I think I painted it brown first, and then I went over, while it was still wet, the paint with a black, and then I just smushed it around, so it looks all messed up and stuff like that. The back looks a bit more cleaner than the front. The front looks cooler. And then I did the same with the arms, and I know everybody is wondering what I did for the hand, because that's probably Freddy Krueger's most iconic part. I basically just took Wolverine claws, just the normal Wolverine claws, and then I sanded the bottom down, then I cut them off, and then I just basically took a little bit of Sculpey and then painted the Sculpey and everything like that. And I think it looks pretty cool. When you just, like, he's slicing at you, it looks awesome, like whoosh, 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 which, yeah, I know I could have done maybe a bit better or something like that, but I think it looks pretty good the way it is. And maybe I should have added another one, but I thought that was too much. Maybe I could have added one on the thumb in here, but then it would have made the hand impossible to move without me breaking it. The legs are just plain black legs with a brown wash and then just brown shoes. Most of the horror characters just wear like an awesome, iconic upper part, and then you get down to their bottom and it's just like black pants. So yeah, there is Freddy Krueger, man. He looks pretty cool. And the first Nightmare on Elm Street was a pretty good movie. It was very interesting. The whole not sleeping thing and attacking you in your dreams, I think, was an interesting concept, and I did respect it. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, I think it's a pretty cool film. Is it my favorite horror film? No, most of these iconic characters that you all love aren't really my favorite horror characters, but I think I have a little bit of respect because they did start the horror franchise, I guess, from getting on now what we get. Kind of started with these dudes, which I guess I have a little bit of respect for. So yeah, there is Freddy Krueger, and moving on to the next figure, we got to go with, I think, maybe the last, I don't know, I think there's a couple other horror icon characters, but we have Jason Voorhees. Now, like I said earlier, I did watch the first of all these films, which if you do know the first Friday the 13th, then you know that the first Friday the 13th was actually Jason Voorhees' mom. In the sequels, they added Jason Voorhees, the character. So I technically haven't seen Jason Voorhees in action. I have seen clips online and everything like that, and he is pretty cool, but I haven't actually seen a whole movie. So I was thinking about watching Friday the 13th, 2009, and watching 2 and 3 of the original Friday the 13th, but once again, I didn't have enough time. And that's going to lead at the very end of the video, which of me running out of time. But just looking at this costume, I based this costume off of, since he does wear, Jason is probably one of the most inconsistent Halloween characters, because in the first one, it's Jason Mom. The second one, it's basically Jason Voorhees, but he doesn't really wear the same outfit for any movie. Like, Michael Myers is always going to appear in his blue jumpsuit. Freddy Krueger is always going to appear in his striped shirt. He is going to appear in like 30 different outfits. Like in Friday the 13th 2, he wears a bag over his head. Friday the 13th 3, or maybe 4, I don't know. I think he wears like a gray suit. Then he gets his hockey mask. And then in Freddy versus Jason, he wears this outfit, which is the outfit I based mine off of because I think it looked cooler. and it just they do look good next to each other. But yeah, I did base this off of Freddy vs. Jason, which is pretty cool. So the head is I think it was a yellow minifigure head, right? Yeah, yellow minifigure head, and then I just painted it with a little bit of a nougat color, and then I just sculpted on the mask and then sculpted out the eye holes, which I think turned out pretty cool. I did not sculpt his straps. Yeah, I know he has a strap that goes over here and here, but the stud, man, the stud messed that up. When I sculpted it over this, it didn't look good. I didn't like it at all. And when I sanded down the stud and then sculpted it, I didn't like that at all. So I just decided to go with the front and then do a little indication of there's a strap up there, but I didn't actually do it. So yeah. Next, Jason's torso is all sculpted. It's just I think it was a shaggy torso, and then I just sculpted all of the just the arms and all the rips and everything that he has in Freddy vs. Jason. And looks pretty cool, man. And then for his machete, it's not actually the Lego machete. I do have it, but it's in green. So I would have had to basically not take this weapon out of his hand at all, because then the paint would scratch. So if you guys kind of want to see what it looks like, there you go. I mean, it looks pretty cool, but Jason's machete in the movies are much more bigger and longer. So I just decided to go for this. Also because it was in gunmetal, so it was a win-win. But if you're wondering what this is actually this thing, and I got them from the Black Panther sets, which, yeah, here it is. I got them from the Black Panther sets, which I think looks pretty cool, and it looked like a good enough shape to sand into a machete, which I think I did a pretty good job, and I did add a very faint thing of blood, which I think looks really cool. And then for his legs, once again, horror characters don't have really crazy legs. He just has, I think, like black pants. Is it black? I don't know. I don't remember. Oh yeah, I can't remember the legs, but I think they're black legs. Yeah, they are. And then I just painted the black boots at the bottom, which I think looks pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. And Jason, I think, probably turned out the coolest. I don't know. He looks pretty good, man, and I really do love the sculpting work I did on him. But yeah, there is Jason. And moving on to the next figure we have is Ghostface from Scream. And I actually have a little bit of now bias for Ghostface because I got a Ghostface mask, just like it was out in the store and I got it. And then I had a project coming up, a school project. Well, I don't think it was a school project, but it was a project that I wanted to do a horror special. So I actually did a Scream-inspired video, which if you guys want to see, I don't know if I should put it online, but it's on my Insta. If you guys know what my Insta is, I did do a Ghostface-inspired video. And now I have a bit of bias because the video turned out really cool and a lot of people liked it a lot. But yeah, man, Ghostface was probably, Scream was probably one of my favorite horror films that I've seen. There is another one, but we'll look at them later. But Ghostface was probably my favorite horror film that I watched, and I'm very eager to watch the sequel. All the other ones, Friday the 13th one, I didn't tell you this, but Friday the 13th one was probably one of the worst horror films I've ever seen. Hate me down below, I don't care. I didn't flinch at all, and it was just a snooze fest. So that's why I'm not really eager to watch the sequel. So yeah, that's why I haven't watched it. But Scream, I am very down to watch Scream 2, Scream 3, and I think they're on Scream 5 now. So I'm very eager because I really love the look of Ghostface, and I think he is pretty cool. So moving on to the figure now. Jeez, I'm wasting time. But the head, I guess I'll take the head off. The head is actually just a black minifigure head that I just took a hood piece, sanded it down, and then after that I sculpted the Ghostface mask, and I think it turned out pretty cool. I also did sculpt a little bit at the bottom of the hood just to give it a little bit of, I guess, depth, and I think that turned out pretty cool. I also sculpted the arms, and then everything else is just a cloth piece. I put a cloth piece underneath here, and then I wrapped cloth around it, and then after it was dry, I took the cloth piece out from under here. That way it gives it more of a baggy look. And then I just did a super glue thing down the front seam right here. And then I did a little bit of a gray wash to represent the sparkles that are on his costume in the movie. And then his accessories, I did a little thing right here to represent the voice changer. Sydney, do you like scary movies? But yeah, I did that. And then the knife is actually from a knockoff zombie Punisher, which does it look exactly like the knife in the movie? No. Did it remind me of Ghostface? Of course. That's why I used it. Yeah, this looks really awesome, man. And then down below, he just has plain black legs. Yeah, he might wear brown boots, but it wasn't that, I guess, necessary for me to actually make. So, yeah, looks pretty cool, man. And yeah, Ghostface is probably one of my... Scream was probably one of my favorites that I watched. And who knows, maybe I'll insert a clip in there or something like that. I don't know. If I do, it'll be right here. But yeah, it was super fun to make, and I have a little bit more bias for Ghostface. So yeah, next figure, I guess we'll go on to this figure because this one really isn't that iconic. We'll go to another iconic after this, but here's the next figure, and if you don't know who this is, that's okay, because this was actually probably one of my favorite horror films that I watched over the month of October. Which, if you don't know who this is, I'll leave a comment down below right now if you do. I'm waiting. Yeah, if you don't, this is actually the Ghoul, or I think Ghoul. I don't know what it's called, but this is the thing from Sinister. Yes, Sinister 2012. And if you don't know what that movie is, well, it's ranked as the highest scary movie of all time, and that's pretty crazy. And yeah, it was probably one of my favorite horror films that I watched. It actually terrified me. It was crazy. And I'm usually not, I mean, I do get scared over horror films and stuff like that, but it actually just scared the crap out of me. And I really wanted to do a little representation because I thought that this movie, like I told you, it scared the crap out. I was like pissing my pants watching this movie. And it was terrifying. This dude looked scary as all get out, like in the dark and everything like that. Like it was just like when you lowered like everything, it was just like he was in the corner, just like he was there, and it was awesome. Like it was super cool, and I really love it. And this dude is very simple. He just has a black torso with a wrapped around a little kind of trench coat type thing, and then I just took the face and then painted with the black eyes and then the little mouth underneath, and then yeah, it's a wolf face on the back, but and then black arms and then gray hands and then Lobo's hairpiece, and I just added all that together, and I was like, dang, this is pretty good. And I really wanted to do a representation of this dude because, like I told you, the movie was awesome, and Sinister was probably one of my favorite horror films that I watched, and I was very eager to watch the sequel, but apparently the sequel is really bad, so I didn't watch it. So yeah, probably one of my favorites. I know he's very simple, and I might take him apart probably out of all the figures just because he looks okay. I could have done a little bit better, but yeah. Still really cool though. If you haven't seen Sinister 2012, please watch it, unless you're young, okay? Unless you're young, don't watch it. It'll haunt your dreams. But if you're maybe, I guess, I don't know, maybe 15 and above, I don't know, maybe 16 or above. I think it's rated R, I don't know. But yeah, if you're on the older side, you should definitely watch it because it was really good. It's a definite you should watch. If you know Sinister, leave it down below. That was a very good movie. So yeah, on to the final horror character. You guys are probably wondering what it is, what's the last one, who could it be? It's of course Leatherface from A Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And oh my god. Oh my god. Probably, how do I put this? I lied about two favorite horror films. Three, actually. Scream, Sinister, and A Texas Chainsaw Massacre were probably some of my favorite horror films that I watched. Oh my god, the first time watching this film was absolutely probably... It was awesome. It was super cool. It was probably one of my favorites that I watched of the OG, like really old. And I really loved it. It was one of my favorites. And I really wish that I could watch more Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. But apparently they're crap, really bad. And Leatherface doesn't appear his look that he appears in this movie in all the other films. Like, he has much more worse masks, much more worse designs, and just the way they execute it. So I'm not interested to go further, but oh man, the first movie, once again, okay? Sinister and a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Once again, if you're older, Texas definitely, because that movie, it's about cannibalists. Or yeah, I don't think a little kid should know about that, because yeah, cannibalists are oof. But yeah, just oh man, one of my favorites, and very hard though, very hard to make, and a lot of people make him, and it's very difficult. And I don't blame you. This dude's very difficult. So I'll remove his thing because you actually can't see anything with it. Here is Leatherface, and he looks absolutely awesome. The hairpiece is actually a spiky hairpiece. Do I have one here? Yes, I do. The spiky hairpiece, and I basically just cut off the front of the hairpiece, and his hair was actually probably the hardest part of this whole figure, and the face. We'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, the hair was one of the hardest parts because yeah, I didn't really know what to do, but I think I did a pretty good job on it. I think I did a really good job on how messy it is. Could it have been done better? Yeah, maybe, but I think I did a pretty good job. Now the face, oh man, representing a skin face, like actual human flesh on a Lego minifigure face is not easier said than not easy. It's not really that easy. So I sculpted this the first time and it didn't really turn out that good. It actually turned out like, hold on, if I actually can find it. Yeah, I can't find it on me right now. I don't know where it is. But I actually did sculpt his like mask, and then I took it off, and it was a clean rip. And it almost looked identical to this. And it was awesome because it actually looked like a skin mask, which I thought was really cool. I don't know where it is, which is making me really mad because I really want to show it, but it's okay. But yeah, I just sculpted over a Han Solo head, which all of this is completely one piece because actually sanding the front of this hairpiece, if you do it on your normal Lego minifigure hairpiece, it's gonna have like a really big gap. So what I did is I actually sanded the top of the minifigure head a little bit just so I could actually put the hairpiece all the way down and not make it look crazy. Because if you put it on the top of a normal minifigure, you're gonna have a big gap and it's not gonna look good and you guys aren't gonna like it. So yeah. Next, I took a white, I think it was, I think a white or gray torso. What torso was it? Yeah, white torso. And then I gave it a gray wash once again, and then I basically took a piece of, I guess, an index card. The same thing I did with Sinister over here. I just made his apron, and then I sculpted his tie as well as his little collar. And then I also sculpted the little things on the side of the sleeves, and I added a ton of blood at the end of this to make it look really, really gross. And then at the bottom, I added dark blue legs with a bit of dirty stuff as well down there, which I think looks really cool. Now the chainsaw is pretty cool. What I did is I took a Lego portal gun piece, yes, this piece, and then I sanded down the sides, sanded down the bottom, and then I sculpted on the top, and then sculpted a little bit on the bottom, and then I actually cut off the handle on this, and then replaced it with a curved pole piece, and then I used that as the handle, and then I just took a Lego piece, like a Lego tile piece, and then I sanded it to make it look like an actual chainsaw piece. And then after that, I took the ring pieces. I actually have one here. I took the ring pieces, these pieces, I cut off a little bit, and then I sanded a bit on the inside and made that as the handle, which he can't actually hold it, which I haven't even tried, but it does make it look like you can raise his hand up there and make it look like he's turning on the chainsaw, and you can do his weird run like, oof, 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 like that he has in the movie, which I think is pretty funny. But yeah, man. Oh yeah, I also did add blood everywhere. I'll just say that. I added blood everywhere because, yeah, he is a cannibalist who cuts people with chainsaws. And, yeah, you can put the chainsaw in his arm, and then you can flail it up in the air and do all his chainsaw dance. I didn't do the Pretty Woman. If you don't know what that is, it's the one he wears at the end of the movie. I didn't do that one because I just didn't feel like it, and I didn't think it looked that good. I liked the one with the apron. I think looked awesome, and I think looked probably the best. So, yeah, man, that's it. I think that's all the horror characters, and yeah, now we're gonna close out this video. So that is going to do it for my Spooktober 2024 showcase. I had a lot of fun making these figures, and it was very fun to make, and I had a blast. And out of all these movies, like I said, these three over here are probably my favorites that I saw. Halloween 2, I guess, hits this mark, but I probably Sinister is 1, maybe Leatherface is 2. I don't know, I have a bit of bias for Ghostface, but yeah, it was really awesome, and I thought it was super fun to make these figures. And yeah, they look really awesome. But if you guys stayed till the end, I do have a bit of disappointing news for this video. This isn't actually all the figures that I was making for this video. Yes, there were more. I did see a lot of other horror films. Basically every horror film, I think, other than Saw. I think I didn't see Saw, but I saw almost all the other ones. So there was going to be more. The reason why there wasn't is because of time. So if I have time in November, I will make a part 2 to this video with the rest of the characters. But the reason why I didn't push off this video is because I had a pretty good amount of horror characters for this video. Now, some characters that you're probably bummed out that you didn't see in this video, like Chucky, or the one that actually was going to make The Fly, or any of those ones, they'll probably be in the sequel, because the reason why is I didn't have enough time for these figures in this video, which, yeah, I know, it kind of sucks. And even if I did all those figures, it'd probably be a much longer video, because I had a lot to talk about. But if you guys want to see a little bit of what they look like, I mean, I started on some of these figures like a while ago, you know? Like, I don't know, man. I didn't have enough time to finish them, and I'm super sorry that I didn't, but I promise that I will finish these figures and make a sequel to this video. I really want to, man. I really want to, and I think it's really fun, man. But yeah, there is actually one figure that I will show in this video that probably won't be in the sequel, and I'll just say it flat out, unless I come out with a good idea. I was going to make Pinhead, because I did see Hellraiser, and as you guys can see, yes, there's actual pins on his head, but the reason why he isn't getting a figure, and I ain't finishing it, is because those pins are so tiny, and I spent like a whole weekend on him, and I didn't even finish him. So yeah, there's Pinhead for you. But anyway, those figures that you just saw, and this hairpiece too, I might even make Norman Bates from Psycho, because I saw Psycho and that was pretty good. And I even have wheels here too for a functioning tricycle, if you guys know that reference. But yeah, if I want to make a sequel to this, I'm going to do it in November. But I wanted to put out something for Halloween, because these figures are pretty cool too. Now, since I'm also closing out this video, I guess I'll put the ones from previous years. So here is Pennywise, the Predator, and Alien. I did see Alien Romulus. It was pretty good, man. Is it a solid Aliens film? No. Was it fun? Yeah. So yeah, that's it for today's video, as well as these three. If you haven't seen these three showcases, go check out my Alien vs. Predator video, and go check out my It Chapter 2, not It Chapter 2, It Chapter 1 Lego showcase I did, I think, a year ago, maybe 2 years ago by now, I don't know. But yeah, go check out those videos, and stay tuned, because Kung Fu Panda is going to be coming out November, I think 15th, like I said, in November. And I'm very excited for that. And also check out, and also stay tuned maybe for a sequel to this video, which, yeah, hopefully I can make that sequel and everything like that. But yeah, that's it for today's video, and I will see you guys later.